Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John. I have a new album review by the band Powerwolf. It's called Call of the Wild. But before I begin, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I do rock and metal reviews, rankings, and more. So Powerwolf, they're a band. I didn't really know much about them. And actually I thought this album was going to be released a week ago, but it didn't. And it's probably better that it didn't, because it kind of like bought me some time. I was able to kind of do a deep dive into their discography and listen to some of their songs, kind of get to know the band a little bit before I jumped into this review. And I'm kind of glad I did, because it's a different type of band. I'm not really into power metal that much, but I did want to kind of get a feel of this band. So basically, it's a band. They're kind of very like over the top. Their lyrical themes are kind of like mostly like the same throughout most of their like albums. They sing about like the church and the Bible and werewolves and vampires, but they do it in a way that, not to be like offensive, but it's just like very like over the top and like theatrical. Kind of reminds me of like those like Da Vinci Code movies, but imagine if they had like werewolves and vampires. It is just very like over the top and theatrical. So they do have a very like big sound, lots of guitars and keyboards. You know, I've never seen them live, but I did watch some of their performances on YouTube that were live. Actually, my favorite song is called Demons Are a Girl's Best Friend. That's not even on this album. It was on the previous album. That one has Alyssa White Glues from Arch Enemy. But this is one of those bands that I think that they're probably like a really great like live band. I've never seen them, but that's just kind of like the you know, how I would suspect they would be. Now the album does have a similar sound as most of their other albums. This is one of those bands, they kind of like stick to the same formula. They have a very like big sound. It's almost like what you would hear at like a Sunday mass if like church played heavy metal. I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Lots of heavy guitars, organs. Sometimes they sing in like Latin. It sounds like they're giving like a sermon at times. But the songs are pretty cool. I'll be talking about them in a minute. There's like one like lead single called Dancing with the Dead. It had a pretty like over the top music video, kind of like looks like a cross between like Beauty and the Beast and like Eyes Wide Shut. Very like over the top and theatrical. So that's kind of like the overall tone of this band. So there are 11 songs at 40 minutes, so let's talk about them. So the first song, Faster Than the Flame, this is a very epic sounding song. It has that like church choir. The first kick, the first riff kicks in, you know, really fast paced. You know, they do sing some of the songs in like Latin, and kind of creates that like atmosphere they want to create. Pretty cool guitar solo. Some pretty cool like keyboard, like organ sounds. That's a pretty cool start to the album. Next one is like the lead single, Beast of Gévaudan. I think that's how I pronounce it. I think it's some type of a mystical wolf creature or something like that. Again, has a big epic sound. The chorus is very catchy and memorable. And as with most of these songs, the choruses are just like kind of like those ones that like stick in your head. And this one probably even more. Like this one is already in my head already. But just very powerful vocals, really cool organ sound, and church choir and guitar solo, really good. Next, Dancing with the Dead. I was just talking about this one with that music video. And really great. It has like a really great riff, almost like an Iron Maiden-esque riff. And the song is very like consistent with the rest of the album. Just fast-paced, a big sound, very memorable chorus, just very over the top. The next song is called Varcolac. Again, kind of has like a very big sound. I'm not really sure what they're singing about. It might be some kind of lycanthropic werewolf creature or something like that. But again, it's a really good, fast, heavy song. Nice galloping guitars and nice sound to it. Now the next song is the one song that does sound different than the rest of the album, called Alive or Undead. And this is a power ballad. It has the eerie pianos, has really good vocals, it has the organs and the choir. You know, really great power ballad. It kind of brings me back to those like old like Manowar ballads. That really over the top style, and it's really good. Has a really great guitar solo. I like it. It's a very melodic song. Next one, Blood for Blood, Faoladh, something like that. It sounds like they're using like bagpipes in the intro and throughout the song. So that's pretty cool. They did change it up a little on this one, but it's still they are still sticking to that like same formulaic sound, very big sound, and a pretty good song. Next song is called Glaubenskraft. It's in German, and I did translate it. It means the power of faith. Same type of song, just a very big sound. It has the organ. It has that like choir sound, like that church choir, but it does kind of give you those like feelings of like the soundtrack from like The Exorcist or The Omen, like that type of singing. The song is in German, and it's a really good song, and you know, like it just works well with the rest of the songs. Next one, Call the Wild. It's really another great song, just like works well with the rest of the album. Just very fast-paced, heavy guitars and keyboards. Next one, Sermon of Swords, just another very like heavy song. The lyrics are very over the top, and just has some really great like lead guitar playing, very melodic, pretty cool, memorable song. Next one called Undress to Confess, and this one it's kind of very like it has a slow intro, but it's just very like theatrical, and it still has those like big guitars and that big sound, the big epic sound, and the lyrics are kind of like out there. People might be offended by them, but I think like they weren't meant to be taken seriously. It's just they kind of like to like write these very like over the top lyrics, so you don't really take it seriously, but pretty cool melodic lead guitar playing, some pretty cool that organ keyboard sound towards the end. It's pretty cool. And the last song, Reverent of Rats. It is one of their fast-paced songs, very epic sounding, has the guitars, has those like church organs, very melodic, and a really great way to end the album. So in my conclusion now, I like the album. My only complaint is that the songs are kind of very formulaic. There's not really much variation between the songs. I think the exception of that one song, which was the ballad called Alive or Undead, but this is just one of those bands that is kind of like that. Like a band like AC/DC. I mean, they sound nothing like AC/DC, but it's just one of those bands that kind of like sticks to that same formula and just kind of goes with it. And all their albums, you kind of know what you're getting. Now, I do imagine that this would be a great live band, so they probably would sound better live than they do on the album. I don't know. That's just what I'm speculating. But despite any of this negativity, the songs are very catchy. They stick in your head, and they're very memorable. You listen to them once or twice, and they're in your head all day. It's enjoyable. I mean, if I listened to it, I think 3 times today, and I didn't really like look at my watch and like when is this ending. It just I like the song. So for that reason, I'll give it an 8 out of 10, just because of the enjoyability and the really good sound, the good production value. My only complaint was it was a little similar than their other albums, but that was it. And that is it. Comment below, let me know what you thought of this album and Powerwolf and how it stands up against their other albums. Maybe what's your favorite album, and let's talk about it. And that is it. Coming up tomorrow, Resurrection Kings. This is a band featuring ex-members of the Dio band. This is kind of like an arena rock, like a hard rock band. Pretty decent album, so I'll talk about that tomorrow. And that is it. Thanks for watching. I'll put some of my other videos in the links here, and see you in the next one.